Hello, creepy kids,
Welcome.
to another midnight graveyard. We've been on vacation for a very long time,
Yeah, well, we also moved.
doing creepy things,
Hmm.
taking the lifeblood from our neighbors.
Busy bees.
Anyway, we are back with our list of creepy reviews, and the top one that we want to do is the new movie Sinners.
Yes.
So, make sure you grab yourself a creepy beverage, settle in, and get ready for Sinners. Ching ching.
Would you like to start us off?
Sure. So I am obsessed with this movie. I have only seen it once in theaters, and I'm dying to see it again in theaters. I think it's a movie you need to see multiple times, so I am eager to see a second go and a third and a fourth and a fifth because I think it's that phenomenal. So if you haven't seen it, you need to see it. What would you like to add?
I agree with most of that. It was very good. It's definitely worth seeing. I think I would like to see it again. I don't know that I would need to see it 4 or 5 times. But I enjoyed it a lot. It was very good. It was different enough to, keep my attention. Yeah. The writing was good. I liked the characters and the character development. The actors were the acting was phenomenal. I felt like was one of my favorite aspects. I think the actors and the music were both stellar.
Yeah. I think so. It is alluded to as if it's a vampire movie. But from the trailers, it's not your typical vampire movie, though I'd say the trailers are elusive enough that it's not entirely clear what the movie's going to end up being about. And that is kind of the tone of the movie as well. That there is this monster that's like this known yet also hidden monster, and the time period of this movie is during the Jim Crow era and in the South. So
It was 1930s.
was it 1930s?
Pretty sure because I'm nearly positive the men talked about serving in the war, and it was prohibition. So maybe
You're right.
Is that 19 or is that 1915? Like prohibition? I don't know, but they worked with Capone.
Right, because that was the whole thing, in Chicago. No, that's what I was remembering, that the main character
But I think they mentioned fighting in Germany in the war, so I thought World War II, but I don't know that's actually correct,
I believe so, because I think that would make sense for some of the situations.
Yeah, because the stock market crash before the Depression was 29, so yeah. Right, that makes sense then that
Isn't it like 1915?
Yeah. It's 30s. I think it's got to be the 1930s. The movie is taking place in the 30s.
Oh, yeah.
Or the 40s.
Yes. So, but what I am saying is that it's in the South of the United States.
Mm-hmm. Mississippi, I believe.
During a time where there is obvious racism, very much similar to today. Thank you.
Yeah, but
Orange
it's
Monster.
Legal, right? Legalized in this case. Where there are... I forget which case it was, but equal hadn't been shot down yet, so there were colored
Plessy
rooms and
Ferguson.
white rooms and colored water fountains and white water fountains and
towns, not even just that, absolute
curfews,
complete
right?
segregation.
Was one of the things that they had mentioned, or am I misremembering?
I don't remember curfews.
No.
But either way, that paints the picture of the hidden but obvious monster, right? That there are Klan members. They are discussed, and it's known that those are the obvious enemy, right? Like the any white person that you encounter on the screen is like, ooh, are they a clan member? It's presented in such a way that you would have these hidden but obvious monsters, and that reflects that time period, but then also leans into the vampire aspect of the movie as well, which I thought was a fabulous correlation. And then the vampires themselves were almost like a backdrop to the bigger messaging of the whole film, which was awesome. I love vampires. So having them not be the central focus and the enemy is something I prefer, because if I could choose, I would be a vampire today.
I think we talked about this before on here.
We will continue to talk about it forever until I am made a vampire. Yeah, so what more did you want to say? Anything about vampires? I see your little noggin thinking.
I agree that like the vampires in the film are sort of being used to represent like other things, sort of. They were very clever about the different like evils that they injected into the plot, and how the interplay between them. I think it was important, or is something I'm going to be sort of looking at more so on my second viewing, because I think the idea might be bigger than I've thought about yet. You know what I mean? And so I want to consider more how all the pieces fit together, and like I feel like the ending's very important. Obviously, I'm trying not to give any spoilers here, but I feel like what would be quickly and easily, quote unquote, identifiable as evil or bad at first glance, I think sort of isn't always. And I think that's kind of one of the points that's being made. And yeah, so that's why I'm saying like I want to look at that again the second time around, how the different like evils or bad aspects of things sort of fit together and play off of each other and relate. The relationships between them and the characters and good things. I think it's a pretty thinky kind of movie, you know, if you want it to be, because of some of these concepts that we're discussing now. But it was also visually appealing and like in exciting, engaging. So I think it's a really great movie. I think a lot of people are gonna like it.
Yeah. One of the things for me was the obvious connections to hate and love, and how that looks in different people who are corrupted by ideas that they maybe need to make them feel more whole, that aren't always the best things for them and have roots of hate and love. So you see some influence of religion, racism, money, power, reputation, and then just actual love and hate embedded with some sexual connections of that as well. And all of that is kind of clumped together in a way that is also giving this beautiful tribute to culture, music, ancestry. It's like wrapped in this beautiful bundle that doesn't feel disingenuous, or it's showing these conflicting things, but in a very authentic and beautiful way.
Well, it's the interplay, right?
Yes.
Like we were just discussing with the evil and the bad concepts. I think the interplay between the different ideas and cultures and characters is like hugely important to the feeling of the story, but also the movie itself. That's sort of ties in very well to what I'm going to be looking for on my second viewing, which is some of these more like the broader concepts. you know.
But it is, I mean, it's exciting, it's action packed. There were parts that made me like cry, laugh, jump. The soundtrack is amazing and worth listening to after you've seen the movie because it relives some of those amazing scenes that you're getting. The cast is phenomenal, the way that they were able to do so many different things with the dancing and the music. I thought that is just speaking to those particular actors and their brilliance.
Yeah, very talented cast. I agree.
And then I believe I had looked up the director was the same one that worked on the Black Panther movies and I feel like there was another one in there that was like, you know, a phenomenal movie as well. You know, that just it kind of showed the brilliance of the mind in creating this piece. And I can't remember right now, but yeah, absolutely, like such a great movie.
Yep, it was very good. I would definitely recommend seeing it. I think it's worth seeing in theaters. It's good enough that, like, it's not one of those movies that I'm telling you to go see it in the theater because, like, there's a special effect thing that you want to see there, or you want to get, like, I mean, the music being in the theater where you can feel the music, like, that definitely helps because the soundtrack is very good, and the score for the film, like, ties to the scenes so well that it's nice to be able to feel it, but it's just that good of a film is why I'm saying, like, yeah, you should go see it in the theater because don't wait and kick yourself for waiting because, like, people are going to be talking about it this summer, I figure, and it's a fun movie to see and think about and discuss. So,
yeah.
like, yeah, just go see it.
Yeah, I am like, this is the movie of the year. This movie has touched my soul, and it's not necessarily full of horrific things, but I love the play on the spooky elements to it, which is just another way that it got to my heart and is why I thought it was worth even having on this because it's not necessarily chilling, but there are parts that I definitely jumped for, but it's just so masterfully well done and includes those elements of the spooky that it's just chef's kiss. Amazing. Yeah, I can't wait till you see it and you hop on this chatter.
I think that's all I have.
Yeah, so let us know what you think and, feel free to comment. Let us know if you've seen it, how many times you've seen it, and if you are as obsessed with it as I am, because I'm telling you, this is the movie.
She likes it a lot.
A lot. So thank you for joining us, Spooky Things.
We'll see you next time.